street champs, come get put on. Today we got Mike, also known as Tall Trees, here today.
What's up?
Hey man, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Really good, man. Really excited for this. Thank
Yeah.
you for making time in your tour schedule for this.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
For sure. What were you up to before this?
Right before this?
Yeah.
I just came from Telluride. I was playing in Telluride. Before that I was over in Naturita playing at someone's crazy campsite thing.
Really, like a private event?
Yeah, it was kind of like some burners that bought this beautiful campsite and just had a big party.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome. Do a lot of your gigs consist of like weird events like that?
I wouldn't say a lot, but definitely once in a while I stumble into something, unusual where, people just find me and want me to come play in their water tower, which is what I did.
Really?
They converted an old water tower into like a yoga meditation zone, but I mean, it had insane acoustics, with being an open top water tower. So,
wow.
Yeah, on occasion I'll end up in a strange place,
Yeah.
upon recommendation of a friend or something like that. Yeah.
So for the people that don't know, your music is kind of experimental. How would you describe it?
I mean, it's a lot of things. For me, it's hard to put a genre on it, but I'm a songwriter, but I'm also an improviser. I play electric banjo, and I'm very experimental with that. I do a lot of looping, and I play drums on the banjo, and I electrify it. So, I can get a lot of different sounds out of one instrument, which makes me pretty versatile to tour and play solo. So,
Are you traveling with the band or solo right now?
just solo.
Oh wow,
Yeah, a lot of the times I play solo.
wow. Is it really just you on the road by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Does that
Yeah.
get kind of lonely?
No, not really, actually. I dig it. It's like really, it's kind of liberating, I mean, sometimes it's nice to not have to talk to somebody and just drive for 6 hours and listen to music or yell at the top of your lungs or, catch up with friends on the phone. I don't know, there's something like liberating about being on the road by yourself. You just stop whenever you want. You sleep wherever you want. It's just kind of, you set your own pace, and it suits me. But I also like touring with other people as well, Yeah.
For sure. Are you in a relationship or married?
Yeah, I've got a partner.
You have a partner. How's that touring with a partner that's not on the road?
Challenging. Yeah. I mean, fortunately, I've got a really strong partner, so, it's less challenging, but it's always challenging, because the majority of my income comes from playing live. So, it forces me to, have to play a lot. So, yeah. But she's also very independent and very busy. So, but it is hard. It's hard to, the older I get, the more I this whole pandemic and COVID being home for 2 years really, made me look at my life, in a way I hadn't stopped for 10 years. So, to be home and, being able to be with somebody every day, it was cool. It was different, I enjoyed it,
Where are you from?
I'm from New York originally.
New York originally.
Yeah, I grew up in Long Island, which is a very unique place. But I've shifted around a little bit. I lived in New York City for 20 years. Now I live in Asheville, North Carolina.
Why Asheville?
Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah. Why did you settle down there?
It's just really beautiful. I kept going there on tour, and I was like, what is this magic little hippie town in the mountains, It's cool. It's definitely a vibe. And, after spending 20 years in a place like New York City where you get used to, being able to go out for, amazing food, every night and see great, music and art, it's hard to leave that because you get so used to, I want to go have Ethiopian food or something, And, there's not many towns that can keep up with that level of culture, and Asheville is very unique for being a small town because it's got a lot of, just a lot of people who do their own thing. There's not a lot of industry there, so there's a lot of people that are making their own way through life, their own business. Artists, a lot of musicians live there. So yeah, I just felt it every time I went there. I was like, this place is something. And if you mention Asheville to anybody, they're like, "Oh yeah, I love Asheville. It's cool."
Really?
So, yeah, people. It's for it's very common to hear. I was like, well, yeah, that's kind of why I moved there. So.
Well, yeah. So you're a long way from home. Did you drove all the way?
No, I flew out to Denver.
Okay.
I just have 4 shows in Colorado. So.
Oh.
And I've got some good buddies here too that it's nice to catch up with. So, yeah, I'll fly in and out of Denver, and I just rent a car and, just make the drives.
Yeah. What you said you're traveling solo. It's your instrument, your banjo, and you have a bunch of pedals. Like, what does your setup look like? Is it like a bunch of boxes, or is it kind of pretty manageable?
I mean, it's pretty. The beauty about what I have evolved into is that I can just fly and do it. So it's mostly what I can carry. Got a pedal board. I've got a suitcase. I've got a banjo. That's pretty much it for this. If I'm leaving from home, I bring more stuff. But for little fly tours like this, I can be pretty portable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go back a little bit. When did you first start getting into music?
Like playing music?
Yeah.
I started playing music in school band, 4th grade, saxophone. But I always remember and my parents recall that too. I always had I was drawn to it, I had my little tape player and I would listen to music, at a young age. I remember really digging it. But yeah, school system, playing saxophone and going through that route, public school. And that just kind of evolved. I started playing saxophone in 4th grade and did that up until 9th, 10th grade. And then I found playing bass. Someone gave me a bass to try, and then I wanted to be in a rock band and, play heavy metal and stuff like that. So
I can see that. I get those. I could get those vibes from you.
Yeah, I got it. The beauty of music is it's just like an adventure. You can just go wherever you want. If you're open-minded, it's like the amount of musical phases that I've had in my life, I'd never be able to predict it. And when I listen to my music, it's a culmination of all that.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a heavy metal phase. I've had a grunge alternative phase, in high school. And then I found Grateful Dead, and Fish and things like that, which led me to jazz and then bluegrass and then, wherever I am now. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. How old are you?
I'm 46.
46, for sure. I'm 25.
Yeah, it's a good age.
What were you doing when you were at 25?
I was in music school.
Music school.
Yeah, I had went to college to be a doctor.
Really?
For years and years of conditioning. My family and everything. Just, I just thought I had to be a doctor so I could be successful and stuff. But when I went to college, I didn't dig it. All I wanted to do was play music and hang with my friends and stuff, and so I quit school and I ended up going to music school instead.
How'd your parents feel about that?
It was challenging for everybody, but they had given me a chance to go to college. My grandfather left me some money to go the first time, and I kind of ripped through that. Just trying to do it, and yeah, the second time I paid for it, but I'm glad I did because it made me focus and work hard, and
yeah,
sometimes it's good to do things yourself.
Mm-hmm. Are your parents still alive?
Yeah.
Are they together?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long have they been married?
I'm gonna say going on 50. No. Yeah, almost 50 years.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So growing up, can you describe yourself as a kid, or maybe your relationship with them? What was that? What were your feelings with them?
My family was great.
Mm.
They're Italian family. From Long Island. It's you could make a TV show about them. They're awesome and funny, and good cooking, and yeah, I had a good childhood. It was fun. But yeah, me as a kid I guess I was smart. I was smarter than average, I guess, but maybe not super smart. But I was super into creative stuff always. Mm-hmm. Drawing, building, taking things apart. And when I found music, it was like all those things in one thing, you know. So I think that's what brought me to music. You know.
For sure. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I got a younger brother.
Younger brother.
Yeah.
Is he in the music industry as well?
No, he's in the web stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and real estate stuff. Yeah, yeah.
You guys pretty close?
Yeah, we're close.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. Shout out, brother.
Shout out, T-Bone.
That's funny. All right, so where did you go to music school? And did you go to school in Long Island? Or
No. What had happened is I went to school in Pennsylvania at Penn State.
Oh.
And then when I failed miserably, I moved back home with my tail between my legs to Long Island. Moved back in with my parents. I got 2 jobs.
Where?
And I was working at a GNC health food place. And I was also working at a brew pub. And my goal was, you know, I had always wanted to play upright bass, you know. And, you know, it was a goal. Before I left Penn State, I got, like, a picture of an upright bass, like, tattooed on my back. So I would make sure that I did it. And if I didn't, I would just have to live with that tattoo. So I moved home, and I got 2 jobs, and I saved enough money to buy one. You know, it was terrible, but it was something, you know. And then I started studying with a bass player, this old guy who used to play with Buddy Rich, who's like an old school drummer from like the 40s, 50s. And yeah, I just put my head down, and I worked just to prove to my parents that I wasn't a total burnout, you know. And yeah, I took lessons, and I eventually auditioned for the new school in New York City and got in, and, you know, moved to Brooklyn. I moved to Brooklyn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you graduated music school?
Yeah.
With degree in jazz?
Yeah, jazz bass.
Jazz bass.
Oh yeah,
for
that's
sure.
Where the money is.
Did you like utilize that degree in any way?
Oh yeah, man. Of course, every day of my life.
Oh
Yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing. You know, I mean, I was fortunate to have the time. Little did I know, I was borrowing money from the government, you know, to fund all this stuff, you know, which I'll be paying back for the rest of my life pretty much. So, but yeah, I mean, it really put me in the room with like some of the most amazing musicians and teachers that I never would have had an opportunity to, you know, be with. So, yeah, I was in school with like people like Robert Glasper, I don't know, who's like, you know, very famous jazz piano player now. You know, just really amazing exposure being taught by people who played with John Coltrane and, you know, Miles Davis, and, you know, hearing it from these sources is pretty distilled down, you know. It's not the guitar teacher from Guitar Center. It's like people who've been deep in music their entire lives, you know. So I feel very fortunate to have had that experience.
Do you think like your encounters with these individuals that have been pretty deep in jazz music, I mean, maybe speaking from the outside, I feel like jazz is a really emotional genre. Like the people that play jazz are, you know, they're kind of tortured souls sometimes. You know, I don't know if that's the case, but I've done a little bit of music history, and that's how I feel.
Yeah, that's pretty insightful of you. It is. It really is. I mean, jazz is a language, much like learning how to speak Chinese or something. It's really, you know, you have to dedicate a lot of time to understanding the language, reading the language, copying it, and then eventually you turn it into your own conversation, you know. It's like learning a whole new set of words, you know, to be able to communicate with other musicians, you know. But yeah, there's a lot of dedication to it, and there's a lot of solitary work, you know. I mean, being my first few years at school, I probably practiced 8, 9, 10 hours a day, and then go to play a gig or something, you know. You just like all day, you know, carpal tunnel, calluses, arthritis, like, you know, if you play through all that stuff, you know, to get to the next level, you know. But it's a never-ending quest. It's kind of amazing, you know. You can't win music. You can only get deeper. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It can be torturous. Yeah.
Like those individuals, do you think, would you like consider them like happy when you talk to them?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of tortured musicians out there that, you know, it's hard. It's a hard life. It's like not a life that you choose if you want to be comfortable and you want to be, you know, wealthy or anything like that. The chances of that are very slim. But it's very, you know, possible to carve out a living in music, you know. But it can torture you, you know, like anything else, until you reach that level where you understand that this is just your life. This is just your progression, you know. This is where I am today, and this is where I want to be tomorrow. And I just point my feet that way, and hopefully I'll get there, you know. But I've learned everything I know about life through practicing music. Mm-hmm. It's like karate or some shit, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. What about like drug use in jazz? You know, when did you start smoking weed?
I mean, I've been smoking weed since I'm 16, basically. You know.
What year was that? I'm sorry, I'm not good at math.
I mean, for me, that was probably like 92 or something like that.
I was born in 97, so damn.
Yeah, respect. You know, I mean, I'm not advocating, you know, smoking is, you know, bad for your body, but it's not as bad as smoking cigarettes, I believe, you know, which I used to do, and, you know, luckily I've given that up. But yeah, for me, it's always been, weed has always been like my anti-anxiety medicine, my, you know, my door to the inner child, mm-hmm. you know, and yeah, I mean, I've always dug it, you know, mm-hmm. ever since I tried it. And, you know, I mean, there's nothing better than, you know, smoking a J and putting on like a record or something like that, mm-hmm. or watching a dope movie, you know. It's just, you know, it's opened me up, you know, to other possibilities in this world, you know.
Mm-hmm. What about like psychedelics or anything? Dabble in those?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of part of it, you know. Mm-hmm. It's the Grateful Dead. For me, when I was like 17 years old, I was like into metal, and I was into like grunge and stuff like that, you know. And then like I just got in with these kids that were all into Grateful Dead, and you know, dropping acid and mushrooms and stuff like that. And then that was like, I'd like peel back a curtain of it, and, you know, a whole new world that I didn't know existed. Mm-hmm. You know, I had always loved like Hendrix and stuff like that, even before, and Zeppelin and stuff like that. But yeah, when I got to the Grateful Dead, it was like a whole different, you know, world, you know, because there's community and culture with it, you know.
Mm-hmm. There's like that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, there's like a family, and people are, you know, there's no other bands in the world that people will follow them around and see every show, you know.
Mm-hmm. That is true. I've never been to a Grateful Dead show. There's something to see? They're pretty spectacular.
Well, I mean, these days it is what it is. It's just surviving members. But I was fortunate to see them with Jerry Garcia 2 times.
Oh, wow.
You know, I was 18 years old. It's like, yeah, it was pretty transformative.
Wow. You
know, and still that guy to this day has been like kind of a beacon in some ways.
Jerry Garcia?
Yeah. Yeah. He was on a quest. He didn't care, you know. I mean, he loved, you know, the community and, you know, the idea that the Grateful Dead had become this big thing. But, I mean, he was mostly just eyes on the prize. How do I get better at music? How do I more honestly communicate through playing guitar? Mm-hmm. You know, which, like, I felt. And that I've felt that for a long time as well. I still, you know, practice every day. I still am chasing, like, you know, I want to speak music as fluently as I speak English, you know, or maybe better.
Mm-hmm. You how many instruments do you play? Also, can I see that lighter?
Yeah, I play. I mean, strings. You know, I'm good with strings, guitar, bass, anything that's got kind of strings like that. You know, mm-hmm. Banjo, obviously, but you know, I can play keyboards, and I've been, you know, played some drums. Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Wow.
You know.
You think like once you kind of know how to play like one, it's kind of easier to learn the rest of them type of thing?
I think the most important part is understanding music, you know. If you could teach yourself how to teach yourself something, you know, once you learn how to teach yourself something, then I think you can learn anything, you know, because there's a method to it, you know. You have to be patient. You have to start simply, you know, and you have to have an intent on what you're doing, you know. You could also just fool around and play, but if you want to really get better at something, you need to make limitations to yourself to say, all right, I'm only going to play, you know, this small amount of music. I'm going to master it slow. I'm going to absorb it, you know, and then I'm going to expand.
I've never really heard that term, I guess, mastering it. Would you consider yourself a master at like anything?
I mean, some would say yes. I mean, to me, no. I think there's always that renewal of, like I said before, like, you know, you can't win music. There's no, you know, there's no end game, you know. The only end game is your spiritual fulfillment and hopefully joy of other people. But, you know, people like John Coltrane, who I always looked up to, you know, was chasing it, you know, till the day he died. Same, you know, with Jerry Garcia. They're trying to get to that. It's like enlightenment, you know, when you're completely free and out of the moment and your ego is gone and you're basically just watching yourself do it.
Okay. Oh, you've had out of body experiences while playing?
I mean, it's like an intended thing, you know. Mm-hmm. One of the better teachers or one of my best teachers told me to do that, you know. When I was playing, visualize floating out of your body and just watching yourself from above and being absent from the process.
Wow. That's powerful. How do you you've practiced this?
Yeah.
How do you what's the thought process when you're trying to do that, I suppose? Because hearing it, I'm kind of lost.
It's a visualization, you know. It's something that you have to put into your mind to try and, you know, get to. But basically, yeah. I mean, is there anything that you do that you could do unconsciously?
I suppose, yeah. I like to do art, so yeah.
Art's the same. Like, art and music are, you know, brother and sister as far as, you know, creation goes. But, you know, the goal is to take yourself out of it, to take your ego out. You know, the thing in your mind that says, that's no good. No, do that. No, what are you doing? You know, like everyone's got this monkey chatter in their brain. And, you know, it's the enemy of art. You know, art needs to come from the child. You know, art needs to come from the core of your existence, not from your brain. You know, so, you know, once, you know, to become a master, you have to be a grasshopper. You know, you have to constantly say, you know, to renew yourself. You know. Yeah.
Do you have kids?
No.
Wow. I feel like you would bestow some wisdom upon some kids.
Well, hopefully I'm doing that now.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. All the listeners and me included.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I guess talking to someone who's so passionate about you know, playing music is coming, like, when you're, I guess, in my shoes or maybe the listener's shoes, well, you can't really like relate to that. I've never picked up an instrument or like tried.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of the way they talk about their instrument is like it's kind of like just the tantalizing like whole lifestyle is just so interesting, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something interesting to do with your life. I mean, for me, it's just saved my life over and over again because I have something to relate to, you know? A lot of people don't have that, you know? They don't have a deep passion that they can tie their life in. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing whatever it is I'm doing right now, you know? Because I want to do this. I want to move this forward, you know? I have this to relate to, you know? And I think it's very important in life to have something like that, you know, that you can pour yourself into and you feel like you get something back. So many people work jobs just for jobs, and they go in just for money, and they come out with money. And, you know, it's good. You have to do that. You have to make money and, you know, to eat and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like if you're not building anything, you're not creating anything, you know, I mean, it's fine too. But I find for me personally, and the people that I view as successful, they've got something going. They've got something they're building or tearing down, or, you know, they're doing something, you know.
Yeah. Have you ever struggled with like depression or anything?
Not so much. I think, you know, weed helps for me, because like I could just smoke a joint and put on some Pink Floyd and I'm like, man, okay, life is cool. You know, this is amazing, you know. But I mean, this last few years have been tough without being able to perform.
Yeah.
Not only just financially, but spiritually for me, you know, it's like a exercise, you know. And I felt very confused and useless, you know, in a way, because I didn't really get to do what I love to do. And I didn't realize how much it was important to me, because I get like a serotonin boost, you know, from it. You know, I'm in general, I'm a very relaxed and chill person. So, you know, but when I get on stage, I can let all the inside out, you know, all the crazy stuff that stirs up in that calm, you know. But depression, I mean, I've had a few bouts here and there, you know. There's always, you know, imposter syndrome. There's always, you know, the fear of the future, you know. And especially in the times that we've been living in these past 5-6 years, it's been pretty tough, you know. But in general, I'm a positive person. I tend to have a positive outlook.
Yeah. Your last album was released in 2020?
Yeah, February
2020.
Yeah.
You know, you haven't. What's kind of your thought process on putting out albums? Do you do it? Are you trying to do it yearly? Or I know the COVID definitely put a stop to everything, but.
I mean, yearly. I've been trying to get them at least out bi-yearly. Up until now, I've been always working at outside places to make albums. But over the pandemic, I built a studio in our house.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I can finally just record whenever, which is hopefully will increase my output. It already has, so you know yeah, I'm looking to, you know, make more music going forward than I have in the past. So yeah, but albums are cool. I mean, do people listen to albums anymore? I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, I think people will go through they'll find a single that they like and then go to the album, and then listen to the surrounding songs. I think that's more common in the streaming era.
Yeah. I hope you're right. I mean, I love making albums. For me, it's super fun and exciting, you know. I'm in the middle of making one right now. I've got a few going right now with some different people, but
oh, really?
Yeah, I'm excited to. It's fun, man. It's like trying to capture lightning in a bottle, and you know, it's challenging.
Yeah. What's your new solo one going to be called? If you feel comfortable sharing it.
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
Nah.
Dang. How many songs?
That's the last thing. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
You know, I just recorded a bunch of stuff until I feel like, oh, this is an album already. You know, like, you know, so. And now that I have my own studio, I'm able to just, you know, press record. Unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately, but I mean, ever since, you know, the spring, I've been so busy touring and playing because, you know, a lot of the things from 2020 and 2021 that got postponed are happening this year. So I find myself like extremely busy performing. So it's hard for me to switch back and forth into recording mode and performing. So, you know.
Yeah.
But this winter I'm going to hunker down and get some stuff finished.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, your new album. Oh, your newest album. I was listening to it a few times through. Happy Birthday from Jail. That's a good one.
Happy Birthday in Jail.
Oh, Happy Birthday in Jail. Yeah, that's a good one.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Sometimes songs start with a title, you know. I have like a running list, as most songwriters do, of like just phrases that stand out to me and something that's, you know, that evokes something. It's really, you know, when you find 4 words that tell a story, you know, already, then sometimes it's a good thing, you know. I think that's what all writers look for is, you know, economy of words and, you know, being able to tell a story with just a few words.
Who's some of your Who are you listening to when you're not making music or performing?
That's a really good
Like
question.
newer artists.
Newer artists? Let's see. I mean, I'm constantly listening to new stuff, but lately I've been into a few things. I've been into this Brazilian artist called Sessa, who I just discovered. I had a really long and still have a long love affair with Brazilian music.
You were down there touring.
Yeah, I've been there a few times, just playing and studying there and touring. Yeah, I've had some really amazing experiences down there. But yeah, I love Brazilian music. It's just got this swag to it. It's this really kind of cool, rhythmic, sophisticated, also raw, and all the things I like about music. I find a lot of it in Brazil. But Cessa's a younger artist coming out of I think Sao Paulo. Not sure about that, but yeah. What else am I listening to? There's this record called The Sweet Enoughs that I can't get enough of. It's like a side project, I think, of this band Hiatus Coyote. What else? Oh man, I mean, there's so much good music out there. It's pretty hard to.
What about rap?
Rap? Yeah. I like rap. I mean, I grew up with that stuff. My cousin lived in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn. He was 10 years older than me, and he was one of my first portals into music. So I would go into Brooklyn with my family for family things, and I'd be up in his bedroom. He had a, double cassette deck, which was rare in those days, and he would make me tapes of all this stuff. Run DMC, Beastie Boys. Like, there was this guy, Chuck Chillout, who was like a DJ in Brooklyn, and he used to play all this stuff, man. I mean, EPMD, KRS-One. So that was really formidable for me, like the beginning. I mean, I remember just being in my bed with my headphones on, listening to this stuff, which was dirty, and I'm 10. I'm like, wow, what is this? It was like a portal into a whole different world. But I've loved rap, since then. Hip-hop has become like this crazy beast. It's so cool. I don't listen to as much of it as I used to, but sometimes I listen to it just to get rhythmic ideas, because I feel like, that they're always on the cutting edge of rhythm, like lyrical rhythm, people like Kendrick Lamar. I mean, he's like John Coltrane of phrasing, he's got these amazing phrases, and yeah, I mean, I'm down with it.
Have you ever heard of YEET?
No.
YEET, he's kind of like the newest up and coming genre. That's like, he kind of just created a whole new sound, and everyone's kind of following it right now.
Oh yeah. YEET, like YEET.
YEAT.
Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta check that out. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's interesting to watch. I wasn't so on board with like this mumble rap stuff. Like a lot of the rap that's happening today, it's just like yeah, yeah. I'm like, all right, yeah, I get you. But man, when you have a platform to say something, you should say something. It's easy to mumble through some shit and just, be cool, have rainbow teeth and shit. But, no judgment. Do what you can to get the money. But if I was a rapper, I'd want to say something.
For sure. If you were to make a rap song, like, would you want it to be more Kendrick-like or like Snoop Dogg-like?
I mean, I don't think I could even touch Kendrick. He's like Shakespeare or something. I mean, I Snoop Dogg, I grew up with that stuff. When I remember when that stuff came out, and it was like so fresh, so different than the rap that was before it. That whole West Coast synth. They have all the Moog synthesizers and stuff, and it's like smooth. I've always had this theory about East and West Coast, kind of applying to a lot of different things in life. But people are on the West Coast they're usually much chiller. I don't know if it's the sunset or something like that, but
It's the weed. It's the weed.
The weed. I mean that now, but even back then, 20 years ago, that wasn't a thing. It was just like, I don't know. People, there's so many towns I've lived in where the people on the west side are just chill, and the people on the east side are uptight. I don't know why it's like that. You look at it on a country basis, it's like that. You look at, New York City is like that. East Village versus West Village, Upper East Side versus Upper West Side. Chill people move west. I don't know why that is.
That's kind of weird to think about. It's kind of true.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now apply it to your town at home and see if it works.
You know, I mean, I don't. It does, but you know, that's some public politics.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Huh. That's crazy. All right. So getting back into the whole lifespan of things. So going on into the future, you know, is there anything that you want to change with your music or life? Or are you pretty comfortable with how things are going?
I mean, everybody wants to change things with their life, you know. But I mean, I feel like I'm on the way, you know. I'd obviously like to reach more people with my music, you know, and I'd like to get more into film scoring and composing for picture and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, that's where I see myself in 5 years, you know, hopefully. You know, I would like to come to Colorado more and play more here.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of been something that I've been trying to do, and here I am. So, but
do you market your own shows, and do you get them yourself, or do you have a team?
no, I've got a team. You know, fortunately, I've got a great booking agent and a label, and yeah, they help. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but it's all kind of, you know, we're just making a plan and just trying to stay busy.
Yeah. You know, I guess in today's culture, having a label means a lot. You know, so that's what they would say, you're a signed artist. What year did you sign?
I put out 2 records. I think probably around 2017. I signed with Joyful Noise Recordings in Indianapolis, and yeah, they're the chillest label. They're just super cool. They always do crazy stuff, and yeah, they're definitely a good fit for me. And yeah, I just love all their music that they put out. So yeah, it's kind of a good match.
For sure. Did they kind of seek you out, or it was kind of a mutual thing?
Well, yeah, I've known them for a long time because I play with another artist called Kishibashi, who's an old friend of mine, and he was one of their first signees. You know, he kind of blew up around 2012, and you know, he took a chance with this small label from Indianapolis because they were cool people, and you know, they have been growing together. You know, I've kind of been absorbed into that family, which is, you know, cool.
Is he from Japan?
His parents are from Japan.
His parents are from Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's American. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Japanese American.
Yeah. You did some touring in Japan?
Yeah, I've been there 5, 6, possibly 7 times.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah.
What's like some things that you could tell some Americans that never been to Japan? What's Japan
Ooh,
like?
Man, Japan is wild stuff. It's beautiful. It's crazy. It's really, like, in places like Tokyo and Osaka, like, it's great energy, really sweet people, very friendly, very, like, you know, people will go out of their way to help you, you know. It's very kind of courteous society, but they also like to party and throw down like crazy.
Oh, really?
It's not uncommon to like walk around Tokyo and you find like businessmen sleeping on a bench or something, just wasted, you know. Yeah, it's I mean, it's wild. Tokyo is really cool, but the whole country is really beautiful. Food is like off the chain. It's impossible to get a bad meal there. Like, I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible, and they eat some crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything.
What's the craziest thing you ate?
Oh man, I mean, they'll eat like horse sashimi, like raw horse meat.
Mm-hmm.
I've eaten, yeah, I mean, like poisonous blowfish. I mean, raw chicken. Chicken assholes.
Chicken assholes?
Yeah, they
That's
fry
fire.
up chicken butts.
Nice.
Yeah,
Was it good?
it was good.
Nice.
Kind of like a little chewy.
Chicken nugget.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a little scallop or something. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man, they're adventurous over there. I get down with it.
Yeah, I would definitely try a fried chicken asshole.
It's delicious. You know, never really thought it, but I mean, we could throw that asshole out.
Yeah, definitely. Don't waste a good asshole around here.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, so are there any artists that you're collaborating with right now that you want to like mention? or that you can mention?
Yeah, I'm speaking of assholes. No, no, I'm actually about to make a record with my buddy JD Pincus, who's a member of the band Butthole Surfers.
Really?
I don't know if you know who that band is, but they were pretty big in the '90s. They had a pretty big hit, and yeah, JD is a buddy of mine, and we're gonna make a record in my studio with this guy Kramer, who discovered bands like White Zombie and Ween. You know, he's like an old school dude that owns this label called Shimmy Disc. Yeah, so we're gonna make a record together, me and JD, and he plays banjo as well. So it's gonna be a lot of banjo.
Oh wow, that's fire.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I saw Ween just did their Red Rocks South Park thing.
Yes, they did, and I made a huge mistake because I was actually in Denver that night with the night off, and Claude Coleman Jr., the drummer for Ween, is a good buddy of mine. I easily could have called him and asked him to, get me some tickets to the show, and instead I drank 2 beers and went to bed.
I saw some videos. It looked really cool.
I know. I love all those people and all those bands, and I've been watching South Park since it was like a bootleg cassette VCR tape with 4 episodes on it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that hit like right when I was in college. That show, yeah. I mean, we watched it over and over and over again on a videotape,
That's hilarious. Yeah, those guys are like Colorado royalty. They just bought Casa Bonita.
As they should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking. So I'm excited. Have you ever been to Casa Bonita?
I have not.
They have like those divers.
Oh yeah. I know the whole legend of it.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I don't know what time it is.
Yeah.
I know you have to get out of here at.
Yeah. I probably
at that time.
Yeah.
All right. You want to shout your social medias and stuff out so people could follow you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you find me at just tall trees, basically all the way down. Instagram, Facebook, I don't know, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
You want to get me on my LinkedIn page? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I'm easy to find. Just Google Tall Trees.
Hell yeah. Tall Trees, thank you so much for your time, bro. Thanks, a great time.
Yeah,
all right. It. Street Champs, come get put on. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all that. All right. Peace.
Peace.